Hey, what's going on, guys? I grabbed a bunch of $10 notes just from the bank. It seemed like people liked the $5 search we did in the last video. So basically, I just picked up a couple $100 in them. I haven't gone through them at all, so some might be a little in disarray, so I'll have to kind of adjust them, so bear with me as we go through. But let's check them out. Most of these notes, I would assume, I mean, we'll see as we go, are going to vary in year a little bit, but I think they'll all be this newer redesign that happened, like 2009, maybe a little earlier than that. I really like these $10 notes, though, because there's a cooler design. Mainly, they did this with 5s and 10s in an effort to combat, counterfeiting the notes, since 5s and 10s are probably the most counterfeited for U.S. currency. But then, I guess that's neither here nor there. I look for similar things as any other note, discoloration due to improper production of the notes, miscuts, shifts in the print, over inks, issues with the actual serial numbers or seals, which are printed in a different process of the printing process for money in the U.S. So they're actually printed in the bill rather than on it. But I'll quit talking about the make of the bill and see if we can find anything cool. No date notes, like those would be patterns in the serial number that depict a date. So that's something that a lot of people look for, since it's things you can give people on a birthday or whatever. We were really close to a repeater here. If this would have been 2586, 2586, so only a few higher in this run, so it does exist somewhere, that would have been worth a few bucks over this $10 face value, if not in this totally crappy condition. So that would have been cool. So that's something to keep an eye out for. That's called a repeater note. Hey, a K on it for Kyle. For me, nah, I have no idea what that is. People love to write on notes, so whatever. We got nothing in the serial number. Little bit of a missing ink action here, but that's not, I mean, it's just barely. It's probably just a misinked rotary dial that prints the actual serial number. Nothing there. Lots of repetitious numbers, but nothing to jump about. A lot of these are really beat up, as you can tell. Most of which have been in the 2013 kind of range. This is interesting. Very odd placement for any sort of counter stamp. I wonder what that is. PZ. Let me know what you know that if you've ever seen this stamp before on your notes. I am very interested. I love stamp notes. This one intrigues me for not only the position, but how random it is. Doesn't resemble a counter stamp from a bank. So, although I don't think it's worth more than $10, I'm going to still check it out and hold it on the side. 2013 series note, nothing in the serial number. Printed pretty good despite somebody not knowing how to fold a bill in half. Really beat up. U.S. Treasury is a really cool building if you ever get a chance to visit it. This is interesting. You can actually, if you notice here, this little silver peeking through, that's a portion of the anti-counterfeiting measures that are built into currency. So it just kind of gives an ode that there's a little more going on than just some paper that, they printed our money on. There is, somewhat of an effort to combat counterfeiting the notes. Nothing jumping out so far. This just looks like some random stain. Almost like a lighter or something. A little bit of damage to the back. What's the great thing about this hobby, though, is, I mean, you end up with the same money you started with, which you can't really say about a lot of hobbies. So, I mean, even if we don't find anything, which I'm still stoked about our little stamp note there, our mystery stamp note, is, I still got a couple $100, right? So, could be worse. 2017 series, so you can see there's no difference graphically between them. After the design change, they've, incorporated In God We Trust across all bills since, like, the 50s or 60s, so that's nothing new. They changed a little bit of stuff and enhanced the graphics on the note, primarily for counterfeiting reasons, but also just to update the note. Nothing crazy. Other areas to check out, I like to look at where they use this color-changing ink. Once again, an anti-counterfeiting measure, but during that process of printing, there is some issues that can arise. I don't see a lot of, like, $10 star notes. 2013 had quite a few, but I don't see a lot in 2017 or, in this case, which, just so coincidentally, I have a version, 2017A. You don't see a lot of them, so maybe just quality assurance, since there's changes in the actual process to make 10s versus other banknotes due to ink changes and stuff. There's just less issues that arose during production. I don't know. You let me know. Maybe you know more than I do. Nothing crazy jumping out in the last few notes. We are getting down there. Good repetition of 9s, but nothing. You usually see some kind of stray ink around this tree over in the white area of this circle. That's pretty common. Nothing jumping out. Pretty much just that stamp note I already set aside, which, again, I'm just weird and like to collect weird notes, so I'll take it as my little win if we don't come across anything else. This is a super reach. We could call this a date note. I like to keep date notes historical, you know, to the US when dealing with US currency, maybe with something else that was older or unrelated. What I mean by that is, like, September 15th, 575, the US didn't even exist. So I wouldn't count that as like a birthday note or a date note, albeit it is a date. But for fun, since it doesn't seem like, let's just do the last note here. Good repetition of 2s, but unless they're blocked and it's only 2 or 3 digits in the serial number, I wouldn't say it's collectible. Back of the note, this is all tore up. Nothing jumping out. I thought we had a little print issue down here, but this overlap is meant to be there. Nothing on the back. So in this case, I mean, for fun, I'll probably hold on to it just to go, hey, what happened in the year September 15th, 575? See if there's anything, like, interesting. For fun, I'll put it in the description box, but keep in mind, I wouldn't keep this note as, like, a birthday note or something. It's not. But for fun, I'll look that up. The more important note that I like is this mysterious double PZ stamp that I found on this $10 note. Aside from that, it's not, like, jumping out. It's got this huge fold. Nothing crazy in the serial number. Nothing like that. But I love stamp notes. I love mystery. I want to figure out what this stamp is. So if you can help me, let me know in the comments what you think the PZ is on this $10 note. I will talk to you there. Let me know what you've come across in your coin and bill searches lately in the comments as well. I'll see you there, and I will see you in the next video.